Welcome to the third episode of the Vegan Marketing Podcast, where I speak to business experts to learn tips to help our vegan businesses grow. Today, I'm delighted to be speaking to Tania De Bruler, who's the owner of SpecialisedHR Solutions, an HR consultancy that supports vegan, eco, ethical, and sustainable businesses. Tania has over 20 years' experience in HR and has been running her own business for the past 8 years. She has some great advice and tips to share with us about running a business in this space. In fact, Tania has been a mentor to me and helped me to start my own business. So I know for sure she's got some great tips and guidance to share. Welcome, Tania.
Hi, Verity. Thank you for having me. This is actually my first podcast, so I'm very excited today.
Oh, well, thank you very much for being my guest. It's an honour to be your first podcast. So yeah, I wondered if we can start by finding a bit more out about your business.
Yeah, sure. So I run a HR consultancy here in the UK, and I am vegan, and all the people that work with us are vegan too. We felt it was important to maintain the authenticity of the business and for us to be able to understand our clients' needs if we were all vegan, as a lot of our clients are either vegan, ethical, or environmentally friendly themselves. And we support businesses, charities, and social enterprises with all their employment issues, whether it's attracting individuals into the business, developing them, or helping them to lead their employment. We can help them do it all. We're not decision makers. We just give guidance on how to do it and comply to employment law. So effectively, what a HR consultancy does, it helps the employer achieve all their employment law goals by using something called best practice. If you've not heard of best practice, it's a way of translating employment law into the everyday life of having employees in the organisation. And employment law is really complex, and we don't expect our clients to know everything about employment law, know it inside out like we do, because that's our job. That's why we exist. But it is worth noting that if employers attempt to deal with employment issues and don't comply to employment law correctly, there could be a really big claim against them by the employee. And I've had clients before that have actually closed their business because the claims have been so big. But what we do is we take that burden away from them, because our HR consultancy, all the advice and guidance that we give is completely insured. So there is no concern there for the employer. And we've worked with some of the larger organisations and charities in our sector as well, and some of the most influential people as well. Notably, the Vegan Kind, the Vegan Society, Granavita, and Tomo Recycling, just a few that we've worked with.
Fantastic. So you've got loads of experience and you have a big client base and you work with all types of businesses. So you work with small and large businesses too?
Yeah. Our smallest client is actually an employer with 2 individuals working for them, and our largest client has 120. So okay. we don't work with organisations over 500 at the moment, because they usually have their in-house HR department. But that's not to say we can't work with them. We just aren't currently, and what we can do is we can support their HR team. We're providing them with access to ethical and current HR information, employment contracts and handbooks.
Fantastic. So obviously you felt like you wanted to grow your business according to your values. So what was the thing that made you start sort of changing your lifestyle initially? So why did you become vegan?
Oh, I became vegan because I was actually studying for my CIPD qualification, which is the qualification all HR professionals should really have. And I did some intensive studying basically over a 2-week period, and I literally ate nothing but cheese on pizza and chocolate for about 2 weeks, and I became really, really ill, and then I developed intolerance to dairy. I was already vegetarian anyway. I've been vegetarian for about 20 years before that, so it just made sense to do it for health reasons. And then it became more about the animals, and then later on for me it was about the environment. So I tried to encompass all of that in my business, in everything we do, from ordering office furniture, or maybe a bin, for the office, or even if we ever need pens. I really do source environmentally friendly options, obviously, and then look for vegan options as well.
Yeah, it's interesting how much of kind of being vegan expands to every part of our lives, and we have to make these considerations even when, like you're saying, you're purchasing pens, and you've got to make sure it's the right choice, and you have to consider these things.
Yeah, it is, and it is impossible to make a home or an office environment completely vegan, because you can't control the products that are put into making a computer, for instance. But what you can do is control what you buy and what you choose to bring in. Whether you buy secondhand furniture perhaps over and above getting a desk from IKEA, then that you are obviously having a positive impact, and your employees will thank you for it as well, especially if they are like-minded employees as well. So we talk to our customers about that a lot, about choices that they make when they're doing certain things, especially the vegan clients, because they don't realize. Somebody even said to me the other day, because I'm going to be renovating my home, and they said, I didn't even know there was, you needed to buy vegan paint. We naturally assume that obviously paint isn't tested on animals, but yes, it is, because obviously humans come into contact with it, and it's basically anything that humans come into contact with, isn't it, that gets tested on animals. So I've just actually got this through today. I know it's a little bit of a plug, but I'm so proud of this. This is environmentally friendly paint, and it's made by Grafenstone. It's ecological, sustainable, durable. And basically it's all the beautiful colors, and it's Farrow Ball equivalent, basically.
Oh wow.
So so that will be going in my house and painting my front door with.
What's that brand called again?
It's called Grafenstone.
Grafenstone. Perfect.
Yeah,
that's really useful to know.
And it's basically environmentally friendly, vegan. What else did it say on there? No chemicals, basically water soluble, lime bases. There's so much in there, basically. It's just amazing. So you just have to be mindful, and you just have to source. You really do just have to go out and stop making snap decisions and think about what you're ordering. And yes, you've got to pay a little bit more, but that's until everybody starts doing it, and then eventually it will become the norm and prices will come down.
Yeah, totally. So you have shared some tips for renovating a house. Do you
that wasn't my intention.
What tips do you have for people starting their own business?
Wow, okay.
Their own eco-conscious, conscious, vegan, ethical, sustainable business. Yeah.
I think really is to identify what your beliefs are from the outset. Really, it's if you're really ethical vegan and you only want to work with ethical vegans, and that could be your business model at the end of the day. I established my business first of all 8 years ago with working with anybody, but it soon became obvious that it wasn't working for me, and I started to basically attract vegan and ethical as well as environmentally friendly people just from networking in my personal life. So I started getting referrals through friends, and it just sort of grew from there. And then obviously I decided to specialize about 3 or 4 years ago now, and I actually went to a HR consultant that did LinkedIn training about identifying your niche and basically promoting your niche. And once I had that training, I realized that this is what I really want to do. I want to work in the eco and vegan sector. And I changed my LinkedIn profile, and I started putting posts out there about that I am, the UK's first vegan HR consultant. At the time I think I still am. And basically that was it. And within a week later, got the Vegan Society as a client. So it was certainly worth the effort and time spending, reviewing my profile and working on my content for LinkedIn, because I don't think my business will be where it is now if I hadn't done that.
So would that be one of your top marketing tips then? Kind of be on LinkedIn?
Oh, definitely. So if you're talking about, my top 3, for instance, I would say the most important thing is show up. People need to know you exist. People complain often to me because I'm obviously, as you know, I mentor other vegan business owners, and often they say to me, "Oh, I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't really get anywhere with it. I just don't know how to get clients, and I don't know why I'm not getting clients." And I have to point them in direction of, say, Sabrina Lee or whoever to obviously help them get to that point. But basically, if you don't show up and you don't comment, you don't like, you don't connect, people won't know you exist. But you also need to be you need to be the go-to person in your field as well, and make sure your content shows this. Make sure they know you're the expert. Make sure that you talk about your credibility, you share your reviews, you talk about the work that you've done and the successes that you've had, and then obviously provide content for basically what people are looking for. So if people are talking about furlough today, provide content about furlough. People are talking about NHS pay increase, talk about how pay increase, the pay increase information that's out there at the moment. Inflation, what is inflation doing? Is that relevant to businesses at the moment? Yes, it is. So you've got to be really on the ball every day, especially in my field. You've got to be talking about what is current, and then people will share, but also following influencers as well, liking what they're doing, really talking to them, connecting with them, so that they remember you when they're having a conversation with somebody else. I actually had a chat with a famous individual that runs a famous football team and runs another company, and because I've been chatting to him for years, he put me in contact with a major client as well. So you've got to understand that LinkedIn is not an instantaneous thing. It has been for me, but there has been clients where I've got over a period of time, sometimes 2 or 3 years of chatting to them via LinkedIn, but you probably don't realize that you're being recommended all the time from that person, but you just, nothing, you don't always get there straight off. It takes, sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah.
So no, LinkedIn is my go-to platform. I would highly recommend LinkedIn for a professional services company like ours, definitely.
Okay. And so you talked about, that I think the point you made about relating your opinion and your experience to what's going on in the world at that moment is it's kind of vital, because it shows that you're kind of on the ball with what's happening, but also you've actually got an opinion, you've got experience in that field, and you can help other people. So I think that's a really good point.
For me, it's about demonstrating your credibility, because there are many HR organizations out there, but you need to demonstrate that you're credible, because I talk about ethical business quite a lot, and I'm on ethical business board as well. And basically, you need to be talking, walking the walk. People need to be seeing you doing ethical things, because you can't claim that you're working in an ethical environment if you're not ethical yourself. So you have to gain that credibility. So, when somebody shares something about, I don't know, maybe making shoes from, coconut leather, for instance, then you need to be talking about it, and you need to be saying, I would be buying this if I needed a pair. It's being relevant, but also it's being reputable, based on your comments and your posts and your blogs. All of it together, basically.
What about in terms of raising the profile of your business? Do you have any specific things that have worked well for you that you could recommend?
Obviously, I've already mentioned LinkedIn. LinkedIn was the most successful for me. Secondly, it's been my blogs that I have. I try to write blogs about everything that's current, but also about frequently asked questions, hints and tips, how-to guides, and useful information and employment law. And I've got quite a few clients from those being picked up by Google. So it's not just the blogs that go onto my website, but it's also when you copy that information, you put it into a LinkedIn article, Google picks that up as well. So I've got quite a few clients that way. And also networking as well. I think a lot of people don't, again, it's referring to what I said about showing up. If you're going to be a part of a networking group, you have to show up every time, or at least try to, or send a representative on your behalf. You shouldn't be avoiding, or even if you can only make for half an hour, make it for half an hour. That's better than not. And the more you attend these meetings, the more people remember you and the more referrals you'll get. Again, I've got referrals from quite a lot of networking groups. Myself and you, we're both part of the Vegan Business Support Networking. I'm part of the Vegan Business Drive, Vegan Women in Business, and a couple of ethical groups as well. And there's groups there's groups for your business, networking groups on Facebook, LinkedIn, and just if you search the internet, but also Meetup does some business networking as well. And the great thing is all online. So you don't have to lose that time in your day commuting to a network event, which sometimes takes, 2-3 hours. You really add in some value to your business by, not losing that time in the day. So pandemic is good in that sense.
Yeah. And it's really nice as well, because you can kind of still meet like-minded people, and it's a kind of a different thing to do. So you're not kind of just doing the same sort of working. You're exposing a different side of your kind of business to people.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's quite hard to write on a post or describe on LinkedIn or Facebook or anywhere what exactly we do for our clients. And what we do so much for our clients. We help individuals when they start up an organization, help them find the right people, set the culture for the organization, help retain their individuals, help them develop their staff, as well as help them manage them out of the business. And we do all of that with compliance to employment law and best practice, and also coaching managers to be better managers. We do HR projects as well, but it's very hard to get that information across unless you go to these networking events and or people refer you, and then you've got to get all these opportunities to get in front of people. And that's how or you've got to be searching for people that have particular needs and then respond to their needs. And that's what's great about LinkedIn. Somebody will say, has anyone got an opinion about this? And you can say, okay, I'm an expert here, I can give you the guidance that you need. It's a great platform for that. And also LinkedIn groups, you get a lot of discussion about HR issues in particular, or just general issues about people having business, which is great to respond to.
So it is very powerful, but the danger, I suppose, is getting sucked in and spending more time doing LinkedIn or this sort of activity than it is actually doing your business. How often or how much would you say that you go on LinkedIn and to make it effective but not time wasting?
So I think this is the main concern most people have about LinkedIn. It looks like a really huge platform, and can be all consuming. It's a bit like having Facebook on your phone. If you've got it on your phone, you get distracted away from your business, and you end up obviously, looking at other things that potentially you shouldn't be looking at. So what I do is I really do allocate the time to LinkedIn. I try and do a post every day or every other day. Obviously, I have a marketing company doing regular posts, which is about work, but I do have personal posts that I put on there. So a personal posts are about me, what's going on in my life, what's going on that's really interesting to my audience. For instance, this will be posted a bit later on today because everyone's asked me for an update on my house renovation. Because I've told the world I'm doing it in a sustainable way, so I need to be walking the walk now. And I think you have to promise yourself that you won't spend your time searching on there or doing things that you don't need to be doing. So you need to make a decision about what will bring you business. My decision has always been I will follow influencers and I will comment on their posts, and then I obviously have got clients from that. I've always made the decision that I will post either every day or every other day about something personal. I will use my marketing company obviously to talk about work related issues, and I also, when we do job adverts for clients, we then post them on all the groups, and I also post on the groups if I'm looking for a particular answer for something as well. So groups are good in that sense, where they get you the information you're looking for, and you need to be connecting with at least 50 people that you want to work with on a daily basis. You need to be sending out 50 or so connection requests. So that works for me. And then, so you could spend 10 minutes doing that in the morning, probably making requests for connections, and probably about 10 minutes on a post. And that's all you need to do, literally 20 minutes. But I know people could spend a lot longer than that. And I would say then blogs, if you're doing a blog a week or blog every couple of blogs a week, then you just need to make sure once you've done the blog that you copy it straight onto a LinkedIn article, and then that goes live. But my understanding with LinkedIn, you can't post them more than twice on LinkedIn in a day, because it will affect the way your posts are ranking or your articles are ranking. So there's the bit when you start using LinkedIn, you really need to get a LinkedIn expert. Like I said, Sabrina leads this in the vegan sector, and she basically helps people understand where you go wrong and where you can go right to getting clients. And she's even given me pointers, even though I've been doing it for years, and I've got some new clients. She's been helping me rewrite posts in a certain way and how to get them more engaging. And she, even just the other day, she said, post a humanized post basically on a Friday, because Fridays on LinkedIn is all about what people want to see that other people are doing. It's not a work day on LinkedIn. And I did that, and I got over 4,000 views, I think, 80 likes and about 35 comments, which is more than I've got on any other post. It was just about a house that, it's just about a house that I'm renovating. And because of that, I got 2 new inquiries from a client.
Fantastic. I interviewed Sabrina. It's in episode 2 for anyone listening. So it's just episode 2, and it's Sabrina Lee, if anyone wants to get any extra LinkedIn tips, although Tania's given us some brilliant ones right now. So no, thank you for those tips. That's fantastic. I think it's really, really useful. So if people want to learn more about your business, where can they find out more?
So we have a website. That's where I try to drive a lot of people to, which is specialised with an ED, hr.co.uk. If you type in specialised HR into LinkedIn, you'll find us. And if you put in vegan HR consultancy, you'll find us on Google as well. So that's the main places you'll find us. We are on Facebook, but we don't have, it's not the platform that we use on a regular basis.
Okay, that's great. And do you have any special offers or promotions on at the moment that you can take advantage of?
Yes, I'm actually working on something really big and really exciting. So I've been working with startups, as I mentioned earlier, for quite a number of years. And I started to realise over time that they don't really have any money at the outset, but they still need to employ their first employee, because that sets the culture of the organisation. And this is the person that's going to help them get their first sales, or potentially help them make the sales into bigger sales, but also help them grow just generally as a business and develop policies and procedures with them. But, like I said, often they don't have the money to do that. And so they can't get an in-house HR person. They shouldn't want to get at that stage, have the overheads for an in-house person. But also they're not going to have money to be able to appoint a HR consultancy like ours. We're not costly, we don't cost the earth, but it's still money that they don't afford. So we developed we are developing, which is being launched soon on the 20th of March, a membership platform, which tells them exactly how to do absolutely everything they need to do when they're employing people at basically the touch of a button. So they don't need to pick up the phone and schedule a time to speak to someone. It's all there. So on our membership platform, we give them tips how to write a job advert and job description. We help them work out how to set the salary, all the way through to managing people, how to manage them effectively, deal with employee issues, disciplinary issues, redundancies. There's frequently asked questions on there. And we help them basically get the best out of their people by showing them, pointing them in the right direction of relevant articles, case law, employment law updates, podcasts, web tutorials, health and safety, just basically everything in one space. Because what we found is a lot of our clients were coming to us when they've kind of looked over the internet and found all this conflicting information. And what's really important about our website the membership platform on our website is it's covered by insurance. So clients can come to that space and know they'll get basically all the information they need, and it's completely compliant. There's no out-of-date information on there. It's all relevant, and it's all based on best practice in employment law. So they've got the assurance of what they are doing based on all that information is correct. So they won't be in a liability situation, with or dealing with it the wrong way with an employee. And all that basically is just £17 a month, and it's a limited offer, obviously, for the first couple of months. And it's being launched from the 20th of March, and it can be found on our website. If you go onto our website, SpecialisedHR.co.uk, you'll go onto the membership page across the top, and then you can go through the setup. So it is on there ready. and people can go and set up early, but it's not officially launched until the 20th of March.
Perfect. So small businesses can get all the advice that they need about HR, employment law, everything at their fingertips.
Everything at their fingertips. And there's no, literally just £17 a month. There's no timing out on it. There's no, it's on 24 hours, 365 days a year. And the information is always up to date as well.
And you can contact an HR expert if you need to.
Yes, so if, for instance, the issue that they're dealing with is more complex than just getting information from reading something or watching a tutorial, they can pick up the phone and book a call with a HR expert who can give them, you know, real time, if you like, information regarding their situation. And again, that's covered by insurance. So any advice we give in any, you know, platform we use is covered by indemnity insurance. And we've got 100% success rate with our clients, where not one client has ever gone to an employment tribunal by using us since we've been trading 8 years. And personally, I've been doing this job for 20 plus years. I wouldn't like to say how many years exactly, but I've been doing it a long time, and I haven't had any claims against me as a HR professional in the whole time I've been trading, as you know, in HR.
That's fantastic. So I think that sounds like a really useful resource for business, and I'll add the links below when I post the podcast. And thank you very much for all your advice and tips today, Tania. It's been really useful and a real pleasure to speak to you. Thank you very much for being my guest.
Thank you, Verity. It's been a pleasure.